Over the past 8 months, more so than ever, people are realizing that you don't necessarily need a job in order to make money. A lot of jobs have shifted online, so people are realizing their location can actually be a little bit more flexible than it might have been before. But that's also opened up the door to a lot of people getting laid off due to all the unfortunate pandemic stuff going on. And that's led to people having no choice but to be creative in how it is they choose to bring in money to take care of themselves and or their family. So in this video, what I want to do is share 3 things with you, all of which I have done to produce over $5,000 a month. It doesn't matter what age you are. I started doing this stuff when I was 15 years old and I was making thousands of dollars a month. I wasn't making quite $5,000 a month yet at 15. Some of this stuff, as you're about to find out in the next 10 to 15 minutes, does take time to build, but I'm gonna kind of outline the strategy for you on what it is I did and what I would recommend that you do if you're looking for potentially a more creative and flexible way to bring in money, ideally while working from home. So these are 3 things that you can use. You can start implementing them today. Just some food for thought. It all depends on what it is you want to do, but the great thing is you do have the luxury of picking and choosing what it is you would like to test out. All right, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you get any value from it, make sure to smash a like down below. This is stuff that was really important to me because the money that I was making funded a lot of my travels. And when I was 15, 16, 17, traveling all over the US constantly, that led to me meeting as many people as possible. It actually led to more of these income opportunities popping up. And ultimately, that was the finance component that helped me fund my business when I was first starting about 4 years ago. So again, I really hope you enjoy this one. Make sure to smash a like down below and let's jump inside of my computer and start going through this. So like I mentioned, self-employment and side hustles are quickly becoming a full-time thing for a lot of people, and they're realizing you don't necessarily need to work for another company. You can work with other companies, you can have clients, and some of the things we're gonna talk about are great ways to have kind of your own branch, and you can select who you would like to work with, and that level of freedom is kind of what you should be looking for. You have the ultimate say at the end of the day. You might think you have to do something just because of the money, but at the end of the day, you have that choice because you're not gonna get fired, right? It might be your independent work that you're doing. So number 1, this is one of my favorite things because it was really slow and steady, and I did this on the side. This was purely a side hustle, never a full-time thing for me. Number 1, freelancing. Now, there's many websites. I think there's 5 or 6 main freelancing websites that people use that are super active. And it is important to be on one of the main sites because you want volume. You want a lot of people on there, right? It gives you a better chance of getting paid more frequently for the jobs. Now, these are the 2 sites that I use. I'm just giving you the experience that I had. I used Upwork and Fiverr. Upwork is where I would sell my more expensive services. So I used to build Shopify stores for people. I used to edit videos, and that was kind of it. On Fiverr, I attempted to sell logos. I would make custom content for people's Instagram accounts because I used to have some big Instagram pages back in the day. And I would use that as kind of an example of my work. I got really good at, finding photos, putting text over it and outlining it so it was easy to read and really cool and entertaining. And ultimately, I could sell that for, $5 to 10 bucks a picture. It wasn't anything huge, but it started trickling in. So here's kind of my opinion on the freelancing side of things. I did a lot of this, but it's a snowball. So it's gonna start really slow, which is why I recommend that you do 2 things, right? Don't just try to do freelancing because, well, if it's only taking you, 10 minutes a day in the first month, you have all the other time in the day. So you should start one of these other things that we're gonna talk about. Now, once it picks up, it does pick up. The key here is customer service, delivery time, and making sure that your customers are happy, because on freelancing sites like this, it's very similar to Uber. Everything is review based. It's all inside their algorithm. If your reviews start getting negative, you're gonna have a problem, just like pretty much anything online, okay? So what should you be selling on here though, right? This is kind of situational. Let me give you a quick breakdown. Use your skills or find an easy skill that you can learn where the value could potentially be high. So for an example, a logo is probably not a very high value service. And there's, I think, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people just trying to sell logos on Fiverr. What does that mean? A lot of competition and cost has been driven down. So it might not be the most valuable thing for you to start. Sure, you can offer that as an upsell. You can still have it on your page. But when you're first ranking, right, you want to offer a super high value service for a very low cost because you want to get reviews. You want to start getting orders coming in. And once you do that, then you can start increasing the price. I've done this before with selling Shopify stores on Upwork, okay, on Upwork and Fiverr actually, and you just charge really low and offer a great service, make sure everybody leaves you an awesome review, and then you'll start getting pushed to more people. You'll rank higher in their platform, and then more people will start buying from you, and you can raise the price, all right? So, building a Shopify store, if you're good at that, right? You can always learn how to do that. Editing videos. Some people are super good with technical video editing, transitions. I'm not good at that. My YouTube videos here are pretty basic. I can do some minimal stuff, but probably not a super high value service. Transcribing or subtitling videos if you're bilingual, right? If you speak multiple languages. Personally, I never did this, but I speak English, French, and a little bit of Spanish. Obviously, my little bit of Spanish is not gonna help, but I was fluent for about 10 years of my life in French, so I could have done that, right? So it just kind of depends on what your skills are. So sit down, grab a pen and a piece of paper, and just make a list. Anything you think you're good at, and then kind of go one by one and say, okay, let's cross-reference this on Upwork and Fiverr. What does a service like this typically charge? What are people getting paid to do this? How many people are on there, right? How many people are actually ordering this service? Just kind of try to find the best one where you think you can get a fair price and have the opportunity to start making $20 to $50 per job while having that job take you like an hour or a lot less. That would be the ideal situation. Because as it trickles in, you want to be able to do multiple orders a day. You can start making a couple $1,000s a month. So there's freelancing for you. Again, another great way. Now, the best real way to make money freelancing is by dropping a like down below in this video. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's freelancing. And this is something I did extensively on the side. I don't think I ever made more than like $1,200 in a month from freelancing between both platforms, but it was slow and steady. At the time, I didn't know a whole lot about the algorithms and ranking, and I wasn't charging super low at the time. So I should have done that in the beginning. That's kind of a strategy I've now adapted for my e-commerce brands as well. So number 2, sales. A lot of people are probably gonna click off this video right now because who wants to do sales? But hang on, there's multiple ways you can do sales. And I've done a lot of money with sales just from the easiest format of sales that people don't talk about, and that's online. So there's ways to write online. You can sell in the DMs, via email. There's multiple ways to do it where you don't have to do some of these other things that I did. So let me just kind of give you an example here. The 2 first types of sales that I did absolutely sucked. Now, this is in order of suckiness to less suckiness, I guess. Door-to-door sales, this was the worst, okay? I did door-to-door sales at 2 periods in my life. Both of them were for 2 separate solar companies. One in California, right outside of Walnut Creek, which is a little bit outside of San Francisco, and then one in the middle of nowhere in Connecticut in the winter. And I grew up in Minnesota, so I was traveling here. I'd stay for a month and do solar. I think I was 15. Yeah, I don't think I could drive yet. I just did it, right? Because I'd met people who did that who were, making $20,000 to $40,000 a month going door to door. And obviously that's a phenomenal amount of money for anyone. And at the time, I have like a few $1,000s maybe. Well, it seemed like a great way to do it. But until I actually flew out there, right, invested the money in the flight, got out there like a $40 Uber to where they were, stayed with my friends, and started doing this, I realized the feeling you get when you're about to knock on a door and you don't know what the person's gonna look like, how they're gonna react, are they even gonna be home? And then as soon as you knock, we had like a special knock that we do that sounded good. It was kind of, it's all psychology, but they call it like a warm knock, like your strategy. But you instantly hope that they don't answer the door. But if they don't answer the door, there's no chance of you getting a deal. So it just became this whole battle, and it was really, really tough for me to overcome it. But I think it was super valuable because those skills have definitely carried with me in pretty much everything I do. So this actually led me into the next one because the people that were doing it transitioned into this, which was phone sales. So at the time I was selling software, but primarily a training program for businesses. It was actually a sales program. So I was selling a sales program that would assist people with doing phone sales and door-to-door sales, both of which I had experience with. So phone sales was a little easier because I could be sitting in an apartment and I wouldn't have to really confront anyone. And I used to be a huge introvert, so I struggled with this. But sales is great for a few reasons. You can always get a job as a salesperson. If someone's an amazing salesperson, I'll hire you. Might not keep you on, but if you do well, I'll hire you, right? So that's the thing. You can pretty much always take that skill anywhere, and that's the key, so you can select who you want to work with, and there's multiple types of sales. And I always say this, sales is everything. Everything that you do is sales. I'm having to sell you right now on dropping a like down below. why would you drop a like down below, right? So it's handling that unspoken objection. It interrupts your focus on this video. It might take you an extra 2.5 seconds at the end of this video. My selling point is this video is free. I don't make money off this, and I don't do YouTube for the money because it's so insignificant in compared to the amount of time I spend versus the time I could spend on my business and make more money. So I'm just asking you as a favor because I kind of view myself as doing a favor. That's my selling point. Is it a good selling point? I don't know. I haven't really put a lot of attention on it. Let's just see how many likes this video gets, I guess. But so sales truly is everything in some way or another. I actually did this on the beach. I was just in Puerto Rico for a few weeks. You approach a girl on the beach, start talking to her, especially the language issue there. I don't speak a ton of Spanish, but speaking with them and then selling them on the idea of going to dinner and dancing and like a fun night out in the town. Well, that's sales. So everything is sales, relationships is sales, being able to negotiate when you want to buy a car. So sales truly is one of the skills that just revolves around everything in life. So there's one way to do it. And then number 3, this is kind of my strategy I want to like share with you here that I think is probably the most valuable. Help someone build. And before we get too deep into this, what I mean by this is find someone who's up and coming in an industry. Maybe they are, posting YouTube videos. Maybe they're a TikTok creator and they make dancing videos and they're starting to blow up. Before someone really gets large, try to identify talent. And this could be something that you do long term. And I would try to do this personally. Try to find 10 people in each industry for multiple industries so that you're reaching out to 40, 50, 60 people. And try to see what you could offer them that would help them, right? And you could do it for free in the beginning. Don't be afraid of working for free for a while. But what you could offer to do, just some examples, offer to do sales for them. Offer to manage their customer support. Do all their video editing and uploading and captioning and managing what people say in the comments so that you can reply to every single comment, which is a huge thing if you're a creator online. There's so many different ways to do it. But if you can offer a service to them of huge value and take a huge workload off their plate and help them grow, you'll probably stay on board with them for quite some time. So I know people who, I'm not gonna drop any names, one of my friends is a big YouTuber, 10+ million subscribers over multiple channels, huge in the gaming space. One of his friends offered to do all of his editing, uploading, like managing everything. So all the guy had to do was film the video and give him the clips. He edited, uploaded tags, description, thumbnail, research, replying to comments, and took 10% of his channel. Well, you want to, he's making $1 million a month right now. So the other guy's doing 100,000 a month. So it's just growing with someone and being willing to, you have to be willing to not get paid a lot in the beginning for the potential in the future. So there really is a lot of ways to do it. Those are just some ideas, and that's honestly a lot more than 3 ideas because there's so many little things inside of each of those categories that you could start using today and you can implement this week to at least start on the path towards making ideally upwards of $5,000 a month. The reason I chose that number, $60,000 a year is above the average median income in America for a household. So if you as an individual can start making that amount of money, it really opens up the door to you, again, having flexibility in your work, maybe being able to choose your schedule, which is a great structure. But now you can pocket more money and use that for further investments, further learning, or maybe you have no interest in business. Maybe you just want to travel or save up to, buy someone a car or buy your parents a house. It could literally be anything, but at the end of the day, finances are important and you should take control of it right now. As early as possible, get that problem out of the way. There's too many people that don't put enough attention on it and it just doesn't make any sense. Here's the one little thing though that I want to end off with. None of these things that I shared with you, not a single one and nothing else that anyone could ever share with you will work if you are not willing to build a skill. It's skill-based. And this is something my mom always used to say, not to get too personal here, but she'd always be talking to me and she'd always be like, be well-rounded. Being well-rounded is so key. Be well-rounded. And I never understood what that meant, but she was too worried that I was just in my room at 14, 15, 16 trying to figure out how to make money. And she wanted me to play 3 different sports and take an instrument class and learn how to play the piano and blah, 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 and travel. And she wanted me to do a little bit of everything. The problem with that, and it's okay to experience stuff and you should do that usually later on in life. You have to build a skill. You have to become, you don't have to be the best. Obviously you'll make the most money if you're the best. You need to become towards the best in your industry. You need to be very, very, very freaking good at what you do and have some sort of edge. Otherwise, in an independent marketplace, you will not survive. So it's great to be well-rounded if you're getting a job and they're looking at all this stuff on an application. I still kind of disagree with that. I've never had a regular job myself. I'd rather go there and say, hey, here's what I do. All I do is sales. I've spent the last 5 years doing sales. I've done millions and millions of dollars. Here's the psychology I've studied, blah, blah, blah. Let's have a conversation and show them. You know, I would come in from a sales perspective and just be super, super good at the one thing I do and then sell them on me being hired, right? So it would always be more beneficial in my opinion to be super good at one thing. And then you can start to branch that out, but you have to become very good at one thing if you want to start making money independently. And that's the key, all right? So I really hope you enjoyed this video on the 3 ways that you can start making over $5,000 every single month, being above the average median household income with not necessarily having to get an actual job, which would be a great thing, you know, having that freedom. So hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash a like down below. I hope I earned it. I don't want to have to sell you too hard on that. If you have any questions at all about anything we talked about in this video or anything you would like me to talk about in a video, feel free to drop that in the comment section down below. I would love to help you out. If you're looking to get started with e-commerce, which is the business that I took the money from this stuff and started putting it into, that's now the business that, I mean, it grosses me 8 figures a year. That is something that you can find out more about by clicking the links in the description. We have a couple small things that we offer, including custom built Shopify stores with winning products, as well as a Facebook ad training program that just breaks down the actual marketing, kind of a sales strategy behind what I do. It just shows everything live right in front of you, not really holding anything back, so you can see exactly the inner workings behind what it takes to get sales and scale a Facebook ad account properly for an e-commerce product. So that's the main company I run. If you don't know, if you're new to the channel, feel free to stick around and subscribe, but I hope I've earned the thumbs up, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.